A petition launched by research and advocacy group Lepak Conversations has gained 10,382 signatures, urging the Singapore government to expedite its recognition of the State of Palestine. The appeal comes amid intensifying calls for peace and justice in the Middle East, particularly in light of escalating violence in Gaza and neighboring regions. The petition cites Singapore's principled stance on international law and justice, urging the nation to act decisively. It reads, "This decision would reaffirm Singapore's commitment to international law, justice, and peace. This position reflects Singapore's thoughtful approach to diplomacy and signals a readiness to support global efforts toward a just resolution of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict." On 2 July 2024, Foreign Minister Dr. Vivian Balakrishnan addressed Parliament on Singapore's position regarding the State of Palestine. Responding to questions from members of Parliament, he reiterated that Singapore's vote at the United Nations General Assembly reflects its preparedness to recognize Palestine in principle, but emphasized that this move would occur at an appropriate time. Dr. Balakrishnan stated, "Our key consideration is that such a move on our part should help progress towards peace and a negotiated two-state solution." He clarified Singapore's approach when queried by Workers' Party MP Gerald Giam about specific thresholds for recognition, stating, "We are not going to lock ourselves into a specific time or to whether other countries have made decisions in parallel on the same fundamental question. Currently, 146 of the 193 United Nations member states have recognized the State of Palestine." Advocates argue that Singapore's formal recognition could substantiate its support for a peaceful resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. The petition follows an earlier letter sent on 8 October to Dr. Balakrishnan, signed by 64 organizations and prominent community leaders. Notable signatories include former nominated Member of Parliament Anthea Ong, veteran actors Lim Kay Siu and Neo Swee Leen, and former president of the Singapore Law Society, Chandra Mohan Nair. Despite the letter receiving no reply, the campaign has amplified public discourse around Singapore's role in the conflict. Professor Walid Jumblatt Abdullah of Nanyang Technological University underscored the significance of the petition's 10,000 signatories during an interview on his talk show Teh Tarik with Walid. "For 10,000 people to express interest in a political issue is remarkable in Singapore. It's an indication of wider sentiment," he remarked, adding weight to the call for action. An ISEAS-Yusof Ishak Institute survey found that 47% of Singaporeans believe Israel has overstepped in its actions. Commenting on the results during the Plan B podcast, Professor Walid said, "Support for Palestine is increasing. Recognizing Palestine now would align with public sentiment and Singapore's stated positions." Lepak Conversations founder, Juliana Frederica, highlighted the critical need for Singapore to act, given the ongoing violence in Gaza. She stated, "Recognizing Palestine at this critical juncture would substantiate our contribution to the peace process and strengthen our reputation as a principled advocate for a just and peaceful resolution to the conflict." The petition's proponents draw parallels with Singapore's own journey to statehood. Former NMP Anthea Ong reflected, "We have thrived as a nation because our statehood was recognized. I wish the same for the Palestinian people sooner rather than later." As the petition gains traction, it continues to amplify the voices of those advocating for a fair and just resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. For many supporters, Singapore's recognition of Palestine would symbolize its commitment to global peace and justice.